Hello, I'm Stephen Greensted, and I ran on the 18th of February this year, which is 2010, a workshop for the Hellenic Association of Communications Agencies, and this is called Grow Your Business with Digital. And the idea behind this was to help agencies, that's not just advertising agencies, it's a variety, to integrate a digital marketing offering within their agency and to suggest ways of doing it. Now, I showed quite a few videos which were done by other people, one of which is done by Chris Pinnington, who's the Global Chief Executive for Euro RSCG. And Chris made a couple of observations. He said, first of all, if you try to include digital marketing in your advertising agency, and Euro largely is advertising driven, if you just bring in a digital agency, you then have all sorts of difficulties of integration, and the sorts of difficulties really are things like who is actually going to be the creative director, how are pay scales organised, who is it that comes up with the ideas and so forth. And quite soon that sort of situation breaks down into arguments and acrimony. A second way of doing it is to go and buy another agency but not integrate it, instead pass on briefs to that digital marketing agency. And again, there are any number of problems there because ultimately you don't really control what that other agency does, even though you may own it. The third one, which is what your RSCG now does and does very well, is to pay people to come and join you, and those people whom you want to join you are people who know what they're doing. So in other words, you get digital marketing experts who come into the agency as change champions or change heroes, and they are just as much responsible for coming up with ideas as they are for facilitating those ideas being taken into the public realm. Now, one of the examples we saw of an idea that worked particularly well was one that Daryl Fielding, who is now European Marketing Director or VP Marketing Europe, as they say, at Kraft. But at the time that this happened, she was actually the Group Account Director at Ogilvy and Mather, or Ogilvy as it now is, in London. And she was working on Dove. Dove, at the time, was a women's healthcare and beauty care product, which is doing okay, but not spectacularly well. And what she felt was that a lot of advertising for women's beauty care was actually making women upset. It was making them feel bad about themselves because the models which were used in particular were beautiful models, and there was no way that any normal woman was ever going to look like them. So consequently, she decided, along with her Italian client, that a website, which was really a discussion page or a blog spot, should be put up to allow ordinary women to say what they felt about themselves. And quite quickly this took off in a very, very quick way. When she told the main clients about it, they sort of said, "What? No television?" And she said, "Well, you know, you can have some television if you behave yourselves and you like this idea." But quite quickly the idea sort of grew out of control because it wasn't so much a digital idea, it was an idea that people wanted, and it was accessible. And of course, one of the things about digital marketing is that people go out to find you. It's not that your advertising targets them when they don't really want to listen, but people really did, or people, by that I mean ordinary women, really did want to express how miserable a lot of women's healthcare and beauty care advertising made them feel. So quickly, to recap, if you want to make a go of digital marketing, you have to hire people whom you think are going to be right to do it within your company. That means leadership, and leadership means setting out a strategy and carrying your people with you. And in particular, the people you need to carry with you are your creative director, your planning director who's actually going to write the briefs, or at least approve the briefs from which digital marketing might come. And you also need to have a think about your traffic department if you have one, because traffic departments really need to become project managers. And in the case of Dove, what happened was a little consumer insight, which was that women feel rotten when they have a look at beauty care advertising, turned into a global phenomenon. And Dove's beauty care advertising now is global and is enormously successful. And I hope if you take the lessons out of the course that we did the other day, you too will be equally successful. And the very best of luck. Thank you.